in the meantime, attention beginning to be directed in a much more focused way towards December the 23rd. An incredible bill of boxing over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And one of the fights comes into vogue right now because Joseph Parker has the unenviable task, former world champion indeed, Joseph Parker, the unenviable task of going in against the big punching Deontay Wilder. How is that going to work out? Spencer, in the last few moments, caught up with Joseph Parker, who's the first of the boxers to get to Riyadh. He's just touched down over in Saudi Arabia, and he's getting used to life out there. He's had a look at where he's staying, he's had a look at the place, and he's getting the vibe of Riyadh. Spence said to him, what do you think about this place and where you're at?
The weather's not as warm as it was back in October when we were here for the last event and the last fight. And because we'll be fighting late at night, we're trying to adjust everything according to fight time. You know, usually back in England, I'll be waking up at 7 o'clock, breakfast at 7:30, whereas now waking up at midday, breakfast at 1 p.m., train at 3 p.m., lunch at 5, and it just carries on. And then we're training at 1 a.m. So it's a lot different, but I think it's important to train the time that you fight, and that's the time that you're going to be performing.
I mean, tell us about the setup out there, you know, the training schedules, etc. I mean, you've got a lot of you guys out there, a lot of heavyweights out there. Is there a routine for the training? Do you all use the gym at the same time, or is there allocated times for the gym?
I'm not sure that there's a lot of fighters here, even leading into the fight. I think I'm probably one of the first ones to get out here. We got the gym to ourselves. We're using the Mike Tyson gym, which is awesome. It's got everything it's got rings, it's got bags, it's got speed, everything that you need and you want. And the gym is shut down at the time that we're training. So we're very thankful to them who have organized for us to use this gym.
I mean, Joe, I want to talk about the promo. That promo, and I saw that you posted it actually on your Instagram. I mean, that is insane, isn't it? Like, have you ever seen or been involved in anything like that before?
You know what? I've never been involved. Just like boxing my whole life, I've never seen anything like this. And now, like, when we went to shoot the ad and the promo video, it was like, makeup, and then like you had to do so many takes, and it was, I think it was a great experience. And like you can see the outcome of the promo. It's it's probably one of the best I've seen.
I mean, let's talk about your fight with Deontay Wilder, December the 23rd. Huge opportunity for you, Joe. It really is. You go in as the underdog, but a huge opportunity.
It's a great opportunity. You know, in boxing, you want to be involved in the biggest and the best fights. And the only way to get to the right at the top to fight for a title, fight for a world title, is to fight the best fights out there. I've been busy this year, and the level of opposition hasn't been the same as Wilder. But keeping busy, I was able to progress, and I was able to get that ring time. And now I'm really much pumped for this fight with Deontay Wilder. Really much looking forward to it.
Sure. I mean, you boxed 3 times this year, like you say. It's vitally important, you know, for a heavyweight to stay active like that. Deontay Wilder, on the other hand, has only boxed once in the last 2 years since the Tyson Fury defeats, and that was against Helenius, a first-round KO. How important is that for a fighter to be active or inactive?
I feel it's very important to be active because you're always working. You're always progressing. You're always getting better. You're working on your ring craft, techniques, skills, and you're able to, you're not trying to get in shape because you're already in shape. I think with Wilder, with him having that long time off, we'll soon see if he has that thing called ring rust, which I know a lot of fighters do have when they haven't fought for a long time.
Someone that knows Deontay Wilder very well, Tyson Fury, he's boxed him a few times. You obviously train up there with Fury. Has he give you any tips on his strengths, his weaknesses, how to beat him?
Tyson was able to give me some advice and some knowledge on fighting Deontay Wilder. The only difference is I'm not 6'9" with the longest reach, so whatever my strengths, I have to use it to the best of my ability, you know. And he has given me a few pointers and he's given me advice, and he's actually helped me with sparring. So every time I have needed Tyson's help, he's always been there. So listen, thanks to him for always making time to help me, and especially for this camp and this fight coming up.
Sure. I mean, listen, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are investing massively in heavyweight boxing. On that same card, we've got Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin. Who do you fancy in that one, Joe? Wallin's a potential banana skin. It's a risky fight for Joshua, but a fight obviously he has to take, you know, with what's planned for the future.
I think it's a risky fight. I think Wallin's come off a good win, and he's always he's one of them fighters who's been looking for these big fights. You know, and now that he's locked in this big fight, this is a big chance. You know, Joshua's a massive name. And I think with Joshua, he has to come in, and I think coming off a few fights with Usyk, He'll be well more prepared for the southpaw that Otto's going to bring.
And as I said to you, Joe, there's been talk of like March the 9th, Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, etc. You're there to tear up the script. You're there to do your job. If Otto Wallin beats Joshua or you beat Deontay Wilder, just so the fans know, does that mean the winner boxes the winner? Is that where we're at?
Listen, I would think so. Look, if they're trying to lock in the Joshua and Wilder fight, I guess if Wallin wins or if I win, it will change the whole script of what they're trying to set up.
Joseph Parker, tell us, how does the fight go, mate? How do you tear up the script? How do you tear up the plans for Deontay?
If I'm going to go in there, like I said, I'm going to be with the supreme confidence. And I've done the work, I'm in shape, and I'm ready to go. And I'm going to be very calculated. There's no wasteful punches. It's going to be deliberate. I'm going to make him miss, and I'm going to make him pay. That's what I'm going to do.
Joseph Parker speaking to Ron Spencer Oliver. Parker just arrived in Riyadh and getting ready and prepared to go in against Deontay Wilder. Many messages coming in, Spencer. There's Rob. If Joe Joyce can land on Parker's chin, what do you think Wilder will be able to do? It will be a devastating KO. I mean, can you see any way that Parker can do anything against Wilder?
Look, Parker's got a great team behind him. Andy Lee's a great tactician, great trainer, and they will come up with a game plan. But it's the $1 million question is, can he stay out of the way of Deontay Wilder's right hand for 3 minutes of each round over 12 rounds? He's got to stay focused. I think we saw it last time against Simon Keane. He was getting hit with right hands. That is a shot he's susceptible to. So he's got to work on that, because with Deontay, as we know, he's probably one of the biggest punchers in boxing history. And if he lands that shot, it's curtains. So, he's gonna have to be focused, and that is the main focus, staying away from Deontay's right hand.
I mean, it makes you think, at last we've got a decent fight. We've got another decent fight, son.
Well, he's a frustrating one, Parker, because he's got all the ability, and often the accusation has been that he doesn't let his hands go. I went to the Parker versus Joshua fight, which was dreadful. I think the referee didn't help the fight, and Joshua was trying to navigate himself through to other opportunities. But Parker, for me, he gave Joyce the kitchen sink. Now, I'd ask Spencer, if he lands as many times on Deontay Wilder as he landed on Joe Joyce, has Deontay Wilder got the chin to take what Joseph Parker throws? Well,
that is a great question, because I think that Parker, what we saw there with Joseph Parker was something that we hadn't seen in the past, actually, as in he rolled the dice. Like you say, he threw the kitchen sink at it and he went for it. And it was exciting, and he landed shots, and he got himself in that punch range. If he does that with Deontay Wilder, then, it could be very interesting.
Technically, Joseph Parker's on a different level to Deontay Wilder, isn't he?
Yes, he is. But he's
a much better fighter.
Oh, absolutely.
Much better fighter.
Absolutely. But Deontay Wilder's power is obviously exceptional. So, I mean, look, it's an interesting fight. It really is an interesting fight, because I think when the bell rings, Wilder will go for it straight away. He's going to treat it as a 3-round fight. He'll try and get Parker out there straight away, and it's about Parker, how he tactically plays it. He said they've come up with a game plan.
He's skillful enough.
Look, it's a great fight. It's a good fight.
Parker is skillful enough to get out of the way of Deontay Wilder. He is absolutely skillful enough to get out of the way of Deontay Wilder. And you look back in the time when Mike Tyson was knocking everybody out, and James Bone Crusher Smith took him 12 rounds.
Yeah.
It's not likely, but it's possible.
And we've all...
I just think the money in the room tells you that Wilder versus Joshua is the fight. But listen, so why do you want Parker versus Joshua? So why put Parker in against Wilder if you don't think you can win?
Jim, what we must remember is that, since the Tyson Fury defeats, Deontay Wilder's had one fight in 2 years. Yeah. 1-round blowout of Robert Helenius. So ring rust may play a part. Father time may catch up with him. I mean, there's a number of things there.
But in fairness to that observation, Parker's fought at levels. He's not been fighting at great levels recently. So whilst he's fought Jack Massey, with due respect, he's a cruiserweight.
Yeah, I know that. But what I'm saying is activity, inactivity.
True.
It's interesting.
We'll see.